Back in 1924, a columnist wrote of his encounter with a kid he described as a spindly and physically weak lad carrying a baby and staggering towards a neighboring park. The columnist said to the boy, "Pretty big load for such a small kid." And the boy responded with the now famous phrase, "He ain't heavy. He's my brother." He ain't heavy. He's my brother. In the 1940s, the priest who founded Boys Town adopted that phrase for his orphanage for at-risk kids in Nebraska. Then when I was in grade school, and you can read about those days in your ancient history books, what began as a headline was turned into a popular and, I think, powerful song. And you might know the refrain, "He ain't heavy, he's my brother." The first verse goes like this, and I won't sing it. I figure there's enough suffering in the world. But the words are this: "The road is long, with many a winding turn that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong, strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy, he's my brother." Something of that song comes to life in the action of these four people in today's gospel. It's a striking image, isn't it? To see them lowering this paralyzed man whom they had carried up to the roof through an opening in the roof to help bring him to the feet of Jesus, where they hoped he could find healing and hope. I don't know what started that process. Maybe friends and family members said to him, "This Jesus is something, we'd like to take you there, would you want to go?" Or maybe he initiated the question, or maybe he called out to strangers until he found somebody finally who would help him, and maybe that person garnered a few of his or her friends, and somehow they were able to get him there to that place. But the thing is, however it happened, they got involved. See, they carried this friend, they carried the stranger maybe, to someone that they thought could help. And my brothers and sisters, the gospel demands that we get involved. It's hard sometimes, it's scary. What if my helping out mushrooms into something bigger than I thought? And what if I don't have the resources, the time, or the talent, or the treasure for the needs that might surface? But here's the truth. Sometimes it simply is our turn to carry others. Sometimes it's just our turn. Now, I'm lucky to, from my privileged position, I believe, in the lives of so many people, to see people do that all the times. In so many ways I see it. I see how family members often pitch in when there's an illness, and how various people carry some of the burden. Or how friends carry each other sometimes late into the night, listening, loving, shouldering the burden. I saw a grade schooler last week sharing some of his lunch with a kid who needed it, and what I loved especially was he shared his favorite part, not the vegetables. I think of like the participants and leaders of our bereavement groups, or those who do this informally. When there's been a loss, they're willing to step in and carry with those people some of the pain of their burden. Or the neighbors who shovel the driveway or promise to mow the grass or help out for some who can't afford it in any way that we do during these difficult economic times. Or the people who drive others to church. You know, it's not like lowering them through the roof, but we're doing the same thing. You're helping bring them to Jesus. Or our organized efforts, stuff like our growing project and how we twin with farmers to raise money that can help others find enough food to stay alive. Or organizations like our St. Vincent de Paul Society, who's always there serving humbly, or the mission trips of our youth group, or on and on and on it goes. But the truth is, sometimes it is our turn to carry others. And then sometimes it's our turn to be carried. Think about this paralyzed man in today's gospel. He let others carry him. He was right out there for everybody to see. For some of us, that's hard. That's not always been easy. It's not easy at all for me, quite honestly. I remember in college, one of my best buddies, we played soccer together, and we were talking about what it might be like when we were ordained priests. Now, he ended up being married and has children of his own. We talked about how it could be hard sometimes, and he said, Joe, if you ever got back to the rectory late at night and you were tired and scared and sad and lonely, do you think you would call me? I said, Jim, I quite honestly, I don't think that I would. I'm not very good at that. He says, well, think about this. Suppose I was sad, or I was scared, or I was lonely, and I thought, I could call Joe, but I don't want to bother him. How would that make you feel? I said, I'd feel bad. He goes, well, just switch that, because that's exactly how I would feel. Sometimes it is our turn to carry, but he was right. Sometimes it is our turn to be carried. And the truth is that each person here, without exception, is always carrying and being carried. People go out of their way for us, and I hope that we do the same for them. We help, we carry the burden, we shoulder the load, and sometimes we let ourselves be carried as well. But as the song suggests, we are stronger than we know, for love lightens the load. As Jesus said it, he said, it's a burden that is light when it's done for love. It's still a burden, it's still something heavy, but when it's done for love, there is a lightness to that burden. And I suggest that it is in the carrying of each other's burdens that there we find that we are ourselves carried. For there is where we meet the one who carries us. I'll say that again. I believe that it is often when we are carrying another's burdens, that's when we realize that we are ourselves being carried. For there we meet the one who carries us. I'll bet you've known that. I'll bet you've had a moment when you were helping shoulder the load for someone else, and somehow you sensed God there, helping carry you, even as you were carrying another. The work of carrying others and of being carried is for the rest of our lives. We don't know what the twists and turns of life's road will ask of us. And I'll bet sometimes we're surprised by our strength when it is our turn to carry someone. And I bet sometimes we'll be surprised by how we are ourselves carried. It's a long, long road, but on we go, carrying and being carried.
That leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong heavy. He's my brother. And so we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not encumber me. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. If I'm laden at home, I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with gladness and love for one another. It's a long, long road from which there is no return. While we're on the way to there, why not share? And the load doesn't weigh me down at all. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. He's my brother.
Hello, well, hello, buddy. How are you? Great, great. Are you glad to hear it? Well, Big Al, I've got something to show you. Look, it's a statue. Look at Oscar for me. No, it's not an Oscar for you, but it is a statue, dude. Let's take a look at it. Oh, who's that? Is that Big Al? That's Atlas. Oh. What's he got? Well, he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Oh, like me. Yeah, like you. Yeah, your life is so hard, huh? But Big Al, here's the truth. You know, sometimes it is our job to carry others. Hard, I know. But notice that one thing about this statue you might not have seen. What? I'm also carrying him. Oh, yeah. See? And I think that sometimes when we feel like we're carrying the burden of loving others, God is right there carrying us at that same time. Cool. A song. You have a song? For you. For you? Listen. Okay, I'll listen. Okay, you can go ahead right now. You can sing. Okay.
You ain't heavy. You're my brother.
Big Al, I didn't know you could sing that well. I can't. Okay, all right, good. Okay, good. All right, that's good. All right, well, Big Al, I like that. I appreciate that because sometimes you do help carry me to that. I appreciate that. See you, buddy. All right. And boys and girls, you know, I'll bet when you were really little, maybe Mom and Dad carried you everywhere. And not as much as more like this, but they still carry you in their hearts forever. But sometimes it's our job, too, to help carry each other's burden and help them out when life is hard. And whenever we do that, God's right there helping carry us.